Welcome to my video, and today I'm going to be talking about experiencing pain. We're going to talk about experiencing pain mentally, physically, emotionally, and physically. I've been experiencing this recently, which, is the reason why I am making a video based upon this topic, because I've been able to figure out ways that I can now deal with experiencing pain when it comes to mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. And through going through those experiences, been able to kind of grasp a concept, grasp some sort of wisdom and knowledge as to, not some sort, but I guess you could say a way of going about dealing with experiencing pain just because of going through the experiences. And regardless of what I'm going through, I'm continuously pushing forward no matter what. And when you are experiencing pain when it comes to mentally, know that this pain that you're experiencing mentally is, it can be something that you're dealing with as far as stressing out mentally with certain thoughts, stressing out mentally thinking about certain things, and that could be causing you pain. If that's the case, then mentally you should, use your mental state of being, use your mind to realize that, this pain is temporary. The pain is not always going to last. And once you get through that pain, once you get through that pain that is possibly caused by that stress, that you will have peace of mind. You will come into a state of mind, a mental space, and a mental state of being that is away from the pain, that is away from those bad experiences that you are currently or later on experiencing, or passive experience. The fact that you are going to get through that, it's going to put you in a mentally, uplifting state of being once you get through dealing with that specific mental pain. If you're, having physical pain and then it's causing you to have mental pain as well because you're thinking, oh, why do I have to deal with this? Why am I always experiencing things like this? Why does it seem like when I think about it, I'm always dealing with something? When I think about it, something always is happening to me. When I think about it, I'm the one always experiencing pain. When it comes to that certain thing, you got to tell yourself that, mentally I'm here for myself no matter what. No matter what kind of pain I experience physically, I'm mentally going to be here to sort things out. I'm mentally going to be here to meet all opposition. I'm mentally going to be here strong to overcome that pain. I'm mentally going to be a guiding mind for myself to get myself through that physical pain that I'm experiencing. Mentally, you should, have that perspective and view what is going on when you're dealing with physical pain and it's causing you, mental pain. Mentally think about, what's the best way for me to go about this? How can I least have the pain that I'm experiencing physically affect my mental state of being? And in that, you will be mentally strong and continuing to build mental strength in order to experience and keep going through whatever you're going through. Even if that pain, let's say physically, stays consistent. Let's say that pain that you're dealing with physically is constant. That pain that you're dealing with is, getting better. That pain that you're dealing with is something that comes and goes, something that you have to deal with at certain times of the day. Whatever that may be, as long as you are mentally strong, you're going to be there mentally in the right state of mind and the right mental state of being in order to deal with that pain, in order to overcome that pain that you're experiencing when it comes to physically. And just think about it. You're there for yourself. Mentally, you're going to be using your mind to overcome and override whatever it is that you are dealing with when it comes to experiencing physical pain. If you're experiencing emotional pain, like, I can't deal with feeling this way much longer. I can't keep experiencing feeling down. I can't keep experiencing feeling confused. I can't stop experiencing feeling hopeless, whatever that may be. Whatever feeling that you're experiencing that could be causing you to have emotional pain, realize that mentally you're aware of this emotions that you're going through, and tell yourself that regardless of what you're going through, mentally you're going to be strong enough, mentally you're going to be present, and mentally you're going to be having that strong perspective of, okay, getting through that emotional pain, getting through that emotional ups and downs, or getting through that emotional challenge that you're going through is going to be, facilitated by, and can be facilitated by you having a strong mind and you being strong mentally in order to meet that pain, in order to meet that resistance that you're going through when it comes to emotionally. And when you think about, no one wants me, it feels as if no one wants me to have anything good. It feels as if the world doesn't want me to win. It feels like the universe is against me, or it feels like this and it feels like that. Okay, you're aware of that emotional, let's say, pain that you're going through, but at the end of the day, mentally, you got to be strong enough in order to get through that pain. At the end of the day, mentally, you got to be stable enough, and you got to be mentally aware enough to be able to grasp all that you can, understand, understand the situation that you're going through in order to push yourself towards seeing and thinking mentally yourself going into that emotional state of being, of being protected against that pain, that emotional state of being of getting through that pain, overcoming that pain. And therefore you will start to reach the point of where it doesn't matter how much emotional pain you go through. It doesn't matter what kind of emotional pain you deal with. Mentally, you're strong enough by having that strong-minded state of mind, state of being when it comes to mentally, that it doesn't matter what you go through, as long as you are mentally strong, mentally aware, mentally present, mentally in your power, you're going to get through whatever pain you're dealing with. You're going to be able to meet that with strength. And when it comes to spiritual pain, let's say you're experiencing tough times where on the spiritual path that you're on, tough times where on the spiritual purpose that you are a part of, tough times on the spiritual meaning that you have, or finding that spiritual meaning in the things that are going on in your life. Or you are, spiritually, let's say, afflicted in some way, which you should realize that your spirit is always protected, because you can't kill that, although it can be affected and react to the experiences that you go through. But as long as you're being a strong spirit, you should be able to have that spiritual awareness of, okay, this is just part of the path. And then reflecting on that mentally, being aware of what you're going through. Okay, mentally, this is just a tough time that I'm experiencing. Mentally, this is just something that I'm going through on my spiritual path. Mentally, I'm realizing that this is something that I'm gonna be aware of, that I'm gonna be witnessing mentally when it comes to spiritual pain that you're dealing with. The spiritual sense of loss, the spiritual sense of everything bad is going on in my path, everything bad is going on in my purpose as of recently. Bad things are occurring when it comes to the spiritual experiences I'm going through. Being aware of that mentally is going to automatically make your reality focused on being strong through those times, getting through and meeting that spiritual pain or spiritual challenges that you're dealing with on your path, purpose, or meaning when it comes to spiritually. And basically, mentally, you're going to be put on to a path of being mentally perseverance of that pain that you're dealing with when it comes to spiritually. And you will get through that. You are aware of that. You're aware of what is going on mentally when it comes to the spiritual, like I said, pain or troubles that you're going through, whatever you want to call it. As long as you're mentally staying strong, you're mentally aware, and you're mentally meeting that resistance when it comes to being in your power, in your own mental state of being, then you will be able to deal with that pain. You will be able to mentally deal with that pain when it comes to mentally, deal with that pain when it comes to physically, deal with that pain when it comes to emotionally, deal with that pain when it comes to spiritually. All right, and when it comes to physically, so physically dealing with that pain, let's talk about physically dealing with the mental pain. So if you are experiencing mental pain, then there could be a few things that are going on. It could be that the physical actions that you're involved in, the physical actions that you are doing, the physical actions that you are involved in, or that you are making action of, it could be that those actions are in fact having an effect on your mental state of being, causing pain. Or it could be that we're talking about first, let's talk about first mental pain that you're going through, and how you can use your physical state of being in order to overcome that mental pain. Okay, so therefore, like I said, there could be actions that you're doing that could be affecting that. So being aware of and now moving towards the right actions that are going to be able to weed out that mental pain, that are going to assist and support the growth and expansion of new mental forms, new mind state, new states of being when it comes to mentally, that are detached from the past actions, physical actions, causing you to have mental pain. And when it comes to, let's say, you are mentally stressed, then realize that physically you can put in the work, you can move as correct as possible, for lack of a better term, in order to benefit your mental state of being, in order to move away from dealing with that mental pain by physically putting in that work. Therefore, you can reflect on it and be like, okay, I'm mentally perceiving that the physical work that I'm doing and the physical actions that I'm putting in are going to meet this pain that I'm experiencing when it comes to mentally. Therefore, I'm physically protecting myself and my mental state of being against this pain that I'm experiencing. And if you're going to continuously go through that pain, the physical pain that you're going through, and that could be causing you to mentally stress, then those actions that you have to improve on, those actions that you have to put into place, they may be tough actions. It may be something that you have resistance against. But there's things that you have to do. There's sacrifices that have to be made in order for you to take care, in order for you to be strong, in order for you to stay protected, in order for you to do what you need to do in order to deal with that pain, in order to overcome that pain that you're dealing with. When it comes to physically experiencing that pain, so this is about pain that you're experiencing having to do like physically with your body and whatever that may be. I don't care what that pain looks like. I don't care what that illness looks like. I don't care what the disease looks like. I'm telling you now, physically, you gotta be there for yourself. Physically, you gotta be strong. Physically, you gotta be in your power in order to be aware of what is going on physically. Be aware of how critical or how serious the state of being that you are in when it comes to the physical pain that you're experiencing. And while you are, being aware of this, while you are taking this into account, you can dial in what it is that you need to do physically to improve this thing that you're dealing with. Dial in what it is that you need to do physically in order to improve the state of being that you are in when it comes to physically. Dial in what it is that you need to do physically in order to protect yourself from experiencing more serious pain. Do what it is that you need to do when it comes to physically in order to, let's say, overcome that pain. Do what it is that you need to do physically in order to get through that pain. Do what it is that you need to do physically in order to find solutions to getting through and ending that pain. Do what it is that you need to do physically in order to work towards being in a physical state of being, in a physical state of well-being that is detached from dealing with that pain. Even if the path looks like, hey, I'm gonna be experiencing pain for this amount of time. Hey, I'm gonna be experiencing this level of pain. I'm gonna be experiencing that level of pain for whatever duration that may be. Being able to stay physically in your power, being able to stay physically strong is gonna help to protect you in times of dealing with pain when it comes to physically. If you are, experiencing that you have emotional pain that you're dealing with because of, let's say, the physical state of being that you're in, or the physical pain that you're directly experiencing. And like I said before, these emotions could be surrounded that pain that you're dealing with, or it could be emotional pain that you're dealing with outside of that physical state that you're in. But what needs to be said is that just like mentally and just like physically, your emotional state of being can reflect your physical state of being. Your emotional state of being, the things that you feel, the way that you react to things, has an effect on the physical body, has an effect on the physical action, on the physical state of things in your reality. The way that you feel, the way that you react to this, the way that your emotional state of being is, can have that direct impact on your physical state of being. So if you're dealing with pain when it comes to physically, and it's, either caused or affected by your emotional state of being, then, like I said, do the right things that you need to do in order to correct your emotional state of being. Do the physical actions that are going to be able to put you in a space of more being emotionally, let's say, balanced. Getting you into a space by using your physical state of being in a place that's going to allow you to be more emotionally stable. Getting you into a place that's going to allow you to be more emotionally strong through your physical actions. And through this process, your emotional way that you react to things, your emotional way of how you feel about things, your emotional state of being can support your physical state of being in all times. And not just any times, but in this certain situation, times that you are dealing with pain. And therefore, then your physical state of being can help to protect and defend against the pain that you're dealing with when it comes to emotionally. And when it comes to experiencing, pain physically, and it having its, let's say, effect on the way that you are perceiving the spiritual path that you're on, the spiritual purpose that you are a part of. When it comes to spiritually, knowing that you're always protected, knowing that whatever happens to me physically, I'm not just my body, I'm not just my physical being, I'm a spiritual being at the end of the day. So you can chalk that up to as, whatever, it is what it is. If I deal with physical pain, I'm just gonna have to deal with it. I'm gonna realize that that physical pain that I'm dealing with is spiritually growing me, it's spiritually making me more experienced when it comes to my experiences in this life, and therefore I can possibly gain something out of that when it comes to spiritually. This video, for example, this idea and this concept was forged from me personally experiencing pain over the last week, and therefore something great came out of it, something that can propel my spiritual state, something that can support my spiritual state of being, something that can put into play a new spiritual way of viewing, a new spiritual perspective on viewing dealing with pain. So, like I said, you can be dealing whatever it is that you're dealing with when it comes to physically, but spiritually realizing and taking your power back, realizing at the end of the day, nothing's wrong because I can't be afflicted when it comes to spiritually. Nothing can affect me when it comes to spiritually. I'm always spiritually protected. Therefore, whatever pain you do deal with, knowing that and having that spiritual perspective is going to help you to not go through that pain in a struggle, but go through that pain and actually grow through that pain. But let's say, spiritual pain, you're having spiritual challenges. That's really what it is maybe you feel spiritually weak or spiritually drained. That's what I would equate to spiritual pain. You're not necessarily going to physically feel that, but you'll sense that, because if you're aware of that and you're a spiritual being, then you'll be able to sense that. So if you are having that spiritual pain or challenges or whatever that may be that you're experiencing spiritually, physically protecting against that is all about putting in that work. It's all about doing the physical actions, doing the physical work that you have to do that is in tandem with your spiritual purpose. Doing the spiritual work and the spiritual actions that is in resonation with your spiritual path. Doing that work that is going to put you and move you along into a better spiritual state of well-being. So we have reached the halfway point in this video. If you're watching this video right now, show some support. Not only that, but in today's video, I'm not playing music in the background. And I just chose to do this because I don't have any reason to really play music right now, or the want, the need, or the, just reason to play the music in the background, because I figured it's more of a serious video. It's more about pain, and it's more about getting that message out there and getting that message heard, regardless of what that is. So, like I said, moving on through the video, when it comes to using the emotional state of being to deal with pain, we're going to go emotional, which I'm on right now, and then we're going to go to spiritual, and then we'll wrap up this video. When it comes to emotionally protecting, emotionally dealing with pain, emotionally, and we're going to hit all the states of beings like I have been doing. I figured that's the most in-depth way to kind of explain this concept, to kind of explain the idea of what I'm having to you, and in order to convey these facts, in order to convey this information, it helps to kind of go through all states of beings and use the different aspects of the state of beings and how they affect each other and whatnot. But in any event, using your emotional state of being to deal with, let's start with mental pain. So you're dealing with mental pain, you're having mental stress, or you're having a headache, or which is really physical, but it's in the mind. You could perceive it as affecting the mind because it's the physical pain is located in that area, and your mind may even be fatigued. Your mind may even be affected in some sort of way by that pain that you're dealing with. But in other words, when it comes to that mental pain that you're dealing with, emotionally be strong, be emotionally present, be emotionally a rock for yourself in order to, not allow that mental pain that you're going through to affect your emotional state of being. Not allow that pain that you're going through mentally to destroy you when it comes to mentally, destroy you when it comes to emotionally. But be strong emotionally, be emotionally aware of the process. Be emotionally aware of, okay, this is gonna take being emotionally strong. This is gonna take being emotionally wise. This is gonna take being emotionally knowledgeable about the situation to meet and to endure this mental pain that you're going through. When it comes to physically, you could be going through physical pain. Do not allow that physical pain to destroy you when it comes to physically. Do not allow, by using your emotional state of being to stay strong, using your emotional state of being to be there for yourself, using that emotional state of being to have that awareness of being strong, to have that awareness of being emotionally wise, being emotionally intelligent, regardless of what you are dealing with when it comes to your emotional state of being and how you can protect yourself in regards to the physical pain that you're going with. You're gonna realize that emotionally, I'm way stronger than whatever I'm dealing with when it comes to this physical pain. Emotionally, I'm beyond this. I'm way powerful than what I'm experiencing when it comes to physically. And therefore, you're gonna meet that pain with all the strength that you have, and physically you're gonna endure. Physically, you're gonna get through that. Physically, you're gonna go through that. Physically, you're gonna grow through that pain by using your emotional state of being to protect yourself while going through that. You know, the emotional pain that you're dealing with. Emotionally, being emotionally stable, being emotionally strong, being emotionally aware, having that emotional intelligence, regardless of what you're going through. You could be dealing with feeling a certain way that's uncomfortable to you. You could be dealing with being uncomfortable. You can be dealing with emotionally feeling weak, emotionally feeling burdened, feeling emotionally troubled, feeling emotionally challenged, whatever that may be. Don't let it affect you. Emotionally, you're strong enough to meet that head on and to be able to face that pain that you're going through when it comes emotionally. Face whatever you're dealing with when it comes emotionally. If you're experiencing spiritual challenges, and I called it spiritual pain just because this video is about dealing with pain, not necessarily that you're going to be experiencing spiritual pain, but you will sense times of feeling spiritually drained, times of feeling spiritually and never, that's not necessarily the case for spiritually, but like I said, spiritually drained, spiritually attacked, spiritually dealing with a lot of opposition, which you could equate to just dealing with, you could even say that, like, spiritually, and this is for some people, this is not necessarily a personal thing or something that I think all people have dealt with, but people are like, I'm spiritually weak, I'm spiritually taken back, whatever that may be, whatever that is that you experience. So emotionally doing and being strong emotionally through whatever you're experiencing when it comes to spiritually, through whatever experience or spiritual challenges that you're going through, being emotionally strong is going to benefit you, and being emotionally there for yourself and emotionally in your power when it comes to emotional state of being, in order to protect your spirit at all times, no matter what it is that you're going through. All right. When it comes to spiritually, dealing with pain, right? So, regardless of, you could be going through anything mentally, you could be having headaches that are affecting your mind, you could be going through mental stress, you could be going through times of extreme mental opposition, you could be going through times of feeling mentally challenged, times of feeling mentally weak, times of being mentally just fatigued, whatever that may be, and that's causing you to have mental pain. Having that spiritual perspective of, I'm spiritual and I'm spiritually protected no matter what it is that I'm going through. Spiritually, I have the perspective. Spiritually, my spiritual system has me in my power at all times, protected at all times. So no matter what it is that I'm dealing with when it comes to mentally, how bad the pain that it is when that I'm dealing with when it comes through mentally, how hard or how painful the thoughts surrounding that pain are when it comes to mentally, how difficult it is to deal with those thoughts, what you're mentally perceiving, whatever kind of pain you're dealing with when it comes to the mind. Being spiritually strong and staying spiritually protected through those experiences, you're going to make it through. You're going to get through that pain. You're going to deal with that pain. You're going to overcome that pain, regardless of how intense it is, regardless of how extreme that is, regardless of how long you have to go through this pain, whatever that may be. Spiritually, making sure that this doesn't affect you on your spiritual path, making sure that it doesn't affect you on your spiritual state of being, making sure it doesn't affect your spiritual purpose, is how you can protect the mental state of being from going through pain, and how you can meet pain when you're going through that mental state of being. And not only that, but use your spiritual state of being to, let's say, like I said, whatever mental pain you're dealing with, use that to benefit your state of being. Use that to benefit your spiritual path. Use that to benefit your spiritual purpose. Use that to benefit the spiritual reasons that you have for doing what you do. Use it to, like I said, if you're dealing with pain, use it to uplift you. Don't have it destroy you. Don't have it bringing you down. When it comes to physically experiencing pain, I don't care how excruciating it is. I don't care what disease, what condition, whatever it may be that you are dealing with that causes you to have pain when it comes to physically. Spiritually, you are protected no matter what is going on when it comes to physically. Spiritually knowing that and spiritually being aware of that is going to have you protected when it comes to whatever you're experiencing with your physical vessel, whatever you're experiencing as it comes to pain when it comes to the physical state of being. Being protected when it comes to spiritually is going to get you through that physical experience. It's going to protect you in that physical experience. It's going to get you going through that physical experience. And not only are you going to go through that experience physically by staying spiritually protected, but you're going to grow through that experience physically by staying spiritually protected. When it comes to having emotional pain, dealing with emotional pain, emotional troubles, emotional challenges, staying spiritually protected, and going back to the physical, derive a spiritual path, derive a spiritual purpose, derive a spiritual reason to why you do the things that you do by observing that pain that you're going through physically. I'm going through something. Use it as a way to transform, use it as a way to transmute that pain that you're dealing with into something that can benefit your spiritual state of being. And when it comes to emotionally, like I said, staying spiritually strong, using that spiritual perspective that you have in order to overcome the emotional pain that you're dealing with, the emotional circumstances that you're dealing with, whatever that may be, opposition that you're going through when it comes to emotionally, staying spiritually protected. No matter how you feel, no matter how you react to it, no matter what state of being this pain or so-called pain has you in emotional state of being as. Staying spiritually protected and knowing that I'm spiritually moving towards a space that is right for me. And if I'm moving towards a space when it comes to spiritually, then that comes before mentally, that comes before physically, that comes before emotionally. I react to all those things by staying spiritually protected, staying spiritually, having that perseverance, the perseverance when it comes to spiritually in order to overcome that pain that you're dealing with. And spiritually, when you ever are dealing with, like I said, those things of spiritually being down, spiritually not knowing your purpose, spiritually not thinking that there is a purpose, spiritually not thinking that anything means anything, and that's possibly causing you pain. Being aware of your spiritual path, being aware of your spiritual purpose, and you got to figure that out. If you don't know what your spiritual purpose is and that's causing you pain, then there you go. You have things that you need to look into. You have things that you need to figure out when it comes to spiritually. Spiritually stay protected. Spiritually go through any pain, any challenges, any opposition that you're dealing with when it comes to spiritually in a state of spiritual strength, in a state of being in your power when it comes to spiritually. That's it for this one. Stay spiritually protected. I'm out.